Hey everybody, welcome to the show. You know where you are, the 9 at 9 with me, Tigo. And if you're watching right now, you know who's coming up, Cinnamon Alvarez, our spice in our life. She's coming in, but she's going to help me today because one of the biggest issues I have is being able to stay in the moment. I tend to drift. I tend to get distracted and get off the path of my journey. And today we're going to talk about how to stop that and be in the moment. So sit right there. We'll be right back.
Expert Talk is sponsored by Pod Nation TV, the podcast to broadcast network.
Hey everybody, welcome back. Yeah, you heard me right. I have the biggest issue with staying in the moment right now. That's why I love doing the show, because I'm forced to be right in this moment to do this interview. And I need to learn how to do that all the time. So who do you call? Hey, you call Cinnamon Alvarez because she's my buddy. Hey, Cinnamon, what's happening?
Hey, I was going to say, you call Cinnamon Alvarez, who also likes to go down a rabbit hole.
Uh-oh.
I'm just mindful of it.
So how do you stay in the moment? How does that happen? Because especially as an entrepreneur and with, everything going by in fractions of seconds on social media, you find yourself, you started with one path, life's what happened while you're making other plans. At 9 o'clock in the morning, and by 10, you've done 10 other things that weren't even on the list.
Yeah, I mean, there are so many. I'm sorry, I'm talking over you. I'm so excited about this topic. There are so many ways to get there, but probably the best one is just to take a deep breath and listen, right? It's like, you meditate. Do you meditate?
Yes.
Chico? Yeah,
yes.
Right? So there's like that, but yeah, I mean, one of the things, let me kind of place it. I was actually in a World Changemaker networking event. And one of our fellow world change makers gave this analogy about the noise in the world being equivalent to like a tree crashing. And I am a doer all the time, and my mind is going all the time. And when it's noisy, it doesn't necessarily go well. And then she gave this analogy of growth happening in the silence, like a seed.
Ooh.
And I just pictured it like if you could just be silent for a minute to let the growth happen. And sometimes it's like you blink, you close your eyes, and the next time you open your eyes, you have this new little seedling hatched. And the next time you open your eyes, the flower has bloomed, and who knows where it happened, but it happens in the silence. So that was so inspiring to think about that I've really been practicing. I still have big goals, but I get overwhelmed sometimes of like, how do I connect the dots? Right. And so I just take that moment in the silence. I'm like, oh, silence is golden. And it doesn't take long. It doesn't take a lot of effort. And then sometimes you can just say, okay, well, what is it to do right now? And if I'm present, and then you can remember, like, be present with people right now. And that's where the gold happens. And then we can get back to doing and being appreciative that we have all these ideas and we want to do it all. And we have lots of irons in the fire, but just remember to slow down like that seed that's going to sprout.
That. The question I have is, I bet people are afraid of the silence now because there's so much stuff coming at you 24 hours a day. You sleep next to this little beast. And I try not to now, but you sleep next to her because goodness forgive me if I miss something. It's one of the first things. Some people check their phone before they go to the bathroom in the morning. They're so afraid of missing out. And the thought of, wait a minute, you want me to unplug? You want me to be silent? You want me to just be in this moment? what if I miss something? Oh my goodness.
Right. And I think that like us, right? People who relate that have big visions and we're driven is that we equate getting it done by doing.
Yep.
And we
Yep.
think downtime, like I have anxiety to take about taking a vacation.
Right.
Still to this day, it's true. I did between Christmas and New Year's, we went to Maui from the 27th to the 31st, and we were meeting people who have been there 3 weeks. And when I'm like, they've been here 3 weeks away from their business, like that is stressful to me. It's 3 weeks away from your business stressful for you, Tigo?
Oh, heck yeah. And it's so funny you would say this because, by the time this is airing, I've just done 2 back-to-back cruises. And at this moment right now, I'm like, wait, what? I'm going to be gone for 3 weeks? Are you insane? But that's how I'm feeling right now. So it's funny you would say that because it just, notice my shoulders went up. I'm like, she's talking to me.
3 weeks. So that's the thing. I think that it's like future fantasy is not being in the present moment. Having anxiety about 3 weeks, it doesn't take 3 weeks to be present. It takes a split second. We can be recording right now and close your eyes and have something come to you that's impactful and profound and meaningful. So that's the biggest lesson I think to give right now today is that it doesn't take a lot. In the speed of a big breath.
Wow.
Can be enough to really get something profound to make a difference.
That's amazing because people are, including me sometimes, it's like if I'm not doing, if I'm not moving, if I'm not learning something new, from the minute I open my eyes to the minute I go to sleep, and usually I fall asleep, I don't plan to go to sleep. My body just says, you're done. And I'll wake up with the keyboard in my hand, It's like people are worried about that now. They're worried.
My first business plan. Yeah, my first business plan was written sleeping with a yellow notepad in my bed. My book was written complaining that it was coming to me while I was driving, which is like a state of hypnosis, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so if you think of where do those golden nuggets come from? It's really when you kind of just let go for a moment. So right now, I also have really acknowledged that I can get overwhelmed when my goals are immense. And so one of the other things that I do, and I've been doing this for years, is I just say, don't worry about having it all right now. Just what's one baby step that I can do in this moment that can get me one step closer to what I'm really committed to. So I do that. I also do little tricks like, what's one thing that I've been avoiding? Because in that thing that's scary, that's usually the thing that's most impactful. So we don't necessarily have to do it all. But if you look at what am I avoiding that's scaring me? And you do that thing. Is it Mark Twain that said, if your job is to eat a toad, eat it first thing in the morning? So
okay, now we're dating ourselves again.
Take a breath. What am I really, if I'm honest, what am I avoiding? If I'm going to be courageous, let's do that thing first and watch out. I think sometimes we don't do the scary thing and we're really procrastinating, not because it's hard or we think we can't do it, but what if we're successful? I think sometimes we're avoiding the fear of the big wide ocean of unknown of what if I actually accomplish this, then what?
Yeah, see, now look, y'all, I'm going to tell you, there's that nugget. There's that thing you need to listen to. Rewind 20 seconds and hear what she just said, because that could be the one thing that is stopping you right now.
That could change your life. Yeah. If you take a minute and you just are honest with yourself. I'm also a big, I get nervous. I still care sometimes what people think about me, and I get nervous about appearing too woo-woo. But if I'm really honest, that deep breath and that intuition that comes up, if it resonates with you and it's true. And if it's something I call it honoring it. So instead of saying you should do it, in that silence, that's where you get that I'm feeling pulled to do that. Honor that, and that will have the biggest positive impact in your life and for the world too.
I know I saw that dang 2-minute warning go by. I swear his
2
clock
minutes
is
ago.
way faster than mine. Oh my goodness. But before we get out of here, I got to ask you,
Mhm.
you're a very successful entrepreneur. You figure out things and you go for it. You might have a trail over here and a trail over there and trail in front, but your timing is amazing. Is
Hmm.
there anything that you're afraid of?
I'm afraid of all of it. I just do it
Oh,
anyway.
I love it. I love it. Tell everybody how they find you, how they get in touch with you.
Ah.
I love hanging out with you.
Oh, okay. So you can find me at worldchangemaker.com along with my partners where we make a difference and have meetups and things. You can find me on LinkedIn, Cinnamon Alvarez. You can find me in my lighting company, a19.com, where we make artisan ceramic lighting that brings dream projects to light. You can find
Mm.
my book, Generating Your Own Happiness, everywhere books are sold. Generating Your Own Happiness by Cinnamon Alvarez. Google Cinnamon Alvarez. There aren't too many like me.
I love you, my friend. Thank you
I
for
love you
always
too.
answering the call. You are the best.
Thank you. And thanks for all the listeners who are getting these nuggets and giving them back
And learning the rewind button, because I'm going to tell them
and
every
learning the
time.
rewind button and catching the next episode. Got to watch them all.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, everybody. Don't forget, rewind. Go back and get those couple of nuggets because they were huge. I know you enjoyed this episode. Yeah, we'll get Cinnamon back. She's part of the family. And as always, I'm Tigo. I'll talk to you next time.